Liao Honglei suddenly moved while he was talking. His figure was as fast as lightning, lowered his body, and rushed towards Jinguji Seiichiro. But Jinguji Seiichiro just waved his right hand, and the golden pill beside him blocked him in front of him, blocking Liao Honglei's way. At the same time, the three-headed demon dog, Akamaru, was also burning with hellfire and attacked Liao Honglei from another direction. Liao Honglei calmly observed everything around him. The three-headed dog and the giant ape seem to be melee-type Shikigami, but there are foxes, bluebirds, and gray crows beside him. That gray crow has been found in everyone in Eclipse Moon, but I haven't seen it show combat capabilities, so it should be a support type. Liao Honglei basically made a judgment in his mind. He reacted very quickly and punched Jinwan in front of him. The power of the 100-step divine fist sent out shockwaves through the air, and the next moment, it came to Jinwan's body. Pop! Inside Jinwan's huge body, an invisible wave slowly appeared, directly tearing a huge hole in its abdomen. But immediately, a golden light appeared from Jinwan's wound, repairing Jinwan intact. Jinwan roared and rushed to Liao Honglei, raised his fists high and smashed down on his head like a mountain pressing down on his head. Liao Honglei dodged the attack of Jinwan with a nimble figure, but the ground where he just stood, with a loud boom, the earth broke into pieces. Its power is so huge that it makes people dumbfounded. It is definitely at the level of a Delta-level enhanced mutant. Liao Honglei has realized at this moment that Jinwan is not a living being otherwise. Within 100 steps, almost no creature can take his punch without any injury. The only explanation is that it is something condensed by supernatural power. Yin-yang jutsu Shikigami, right? Liao Honglei's expression became solemn. This is the first time he has faced such an opponent. The worst thing is that he doesn't know how to destroy it. However, Jinguji Seiichiro's Shikigami will not give him time to think. Akamaru roared and rushed over, and the three huge heads spewed magma, directly melting the ground around Liao. Liao Honglei glanced at Jinguji Seiichiro in the distance. He had a plan in mind. Since he didn't know how to quickly deal with the Shikigami, wouldn't it be better to just kill the Yin-Yang Master? But this thing is easier said than done. Not only were Jinwan and Akamaru besieging him, but Jinguji Seiichiro also had Qingwan and Ginwan watching him covetously. But just when Liao Honglei was struggling, a reminder from the combat command center sounded in his headset. Liao Honglei, the Yin-Yang art Shikigami needs to be condensed with talismans as the core. As long as you can destroy the talismans, you can kill the Shikigami. Liao Honglei was reminded by the combat command center, but he was not happy in his heart, because the giant beasts in front of him were so big, and the Yin-Yang Master's talismans were only the size of a palm. How could he find the so-called core and destroy it? At this point, I can only try. Liao Honglei gritted his teeth, stood firmly in his horse stance, and aimed his right fist at Jinwan's head and slammed it hard. The power of the 100-step divine fist passed through space and directly reached its head. Jinwan's head twisted instantly, but it didn't explode. Jinwan is the representative of strength among the 5 great Shikigami of Jinguji Seiichiro. Its strength and defense attributes are the strongest. In a short while, Jinwan's head was restored to its original state. It howled, as if it was angry this time, and the speed of chasing Liao Honglei increased by more than a section. The talisman is not in its head. Seeing this scene, Jinguji Seiichiro showed a contemptuous smile at the corner of his mouth. Some people really watch too much anime and subconsciously think that the vital point will be in the heart or head. But they know this, and Jinguji Seiichiro certainly knows it. The 2 giant beasts, Jinwan and Akamaru, surrounded Liao Honglei. One took a violent bombardment, and the other blocked his action with surging magma. But Liao Honglei was not in a hurry and moved around with his agile body, and the two Shikigami had no way to deal with him. Even if we put aside his supernatural powers, Liao Honglei is also a master of Bajiquan, with a lot of horizontal training skills. In addition, he has a battle suit and weapons made by Zhang's technology, which makes him extremely capable in close combat. If he is defeated by two mere Shikigami, he is not worthy of sitting in the position of deputy captain of the God Squad. Liao Honglei dodged the joint attack of Jin Wan and Akamaru. He reached out and took a black grenade from his waist, pulled the ring with his right thumb, and then threw it at the two Shikigami. A spherical black light exploded, covering the two Shikigami. Jinguji Seiichiro couldn't help, but look sideways, because ordinary hot weapons have little effect on Shikigami. This grenade is obviously a product for mutants. But soon, Jinwan and Akamaru emerged from the explosion intact and continued to chase Liao. The two violent Shikigami ran on the ground like crazy, with red eyes full of murderous thoughts towards Liao Honglei. Shikigami have no ability to think. Once they receive a certain instruction, they will continue to execute it, and the order they received at this moment was to kill the man in front of them. Jinguji Seiichiro saw that Kanemaru and Akamaru could not deal with Liao Honglei at all. He waved his right hand, and the huge, six-tailed white fox next to him took a few steps forward. It raised its head, and its slender white neck stretched straight to the sky. Then the pink fox mouth opened. A sphere surrounded by hazy white light began to condense on its head and slowly became the size of a human head. The next moment, the huge ball of light turned into a dazzling white light and shot towards Liao Honglei. Its speed was so fast that it was difficult to capture with the naked eye. Liao Honglei himself was attacked by Kanemaru and Akamaru, and at the same time he had to face the curse attack of Ginmaru, so it was inevitable that he was a little embarrassed. But fortunately, from the beginning, he did not ignore the movement here. The moment Ginmaru's attack came, his fist also blasted past. The 100-step divine fist collided with the spell in the air, and the two huge energies caused terrible vibrations. At the same time, Liao Honglei first avoided the three-headed demon dog with flames all over its body. Then he took the initiative to face Jin Wan, who represented power. Roar! Jin Wan was surrounded by the golden light of yin-yang magic, which made it fierce and powerful. Liao Honglei was calm and attacked it face to face. The two fists crossed in the air, but did not collide with each other. Jin Wan's fist fell into the air and was flexibly dodged by Liao Honglei. The next moment, Liao Honglei actually got into the gap between Jin Wan's huge body and hugged its waist with both hands. The penetrating force of the 100-step divine fist hit Jin Wan's body fiercely. In close combat, his 100-step divine fist was even more powerful and could directly penetrate all defenses and shatter the internal organs. Jin Wan's body was immediately twisted and broken by this blow. Then Liao Honglei began to exert his strength, leaning back and unexpectedly knocked the giant golden ape over 3 meters tall upside down. Boom! With a back throw, Jin Wan was planted into the ground like a tree stump. Liao Honglei quickly stood up. Then, the golden light on Jin Wan's body quickly dissipated, and a broken talisman fell to the ground. Liao Honglei did not expect that Jin Wan's talisman was hidden in such a position. However, this was also related to the success of his tactics. If you don't know where the talisman is hidden, wouldn't it be better to find it? Liao Honglei quickly killed Jin Wan and killed one of the 5 Shikigami beside Jinguji. This development made everyone in the Combat Command Center excited. The combat effectiveness of the Onmyoji comes from Shikigami and spells. As long as all the Shikigami are solved, Jinguji Seiichiro will become a lamb to be slaughtered and be wiped out at will by Liao Honglei. Liao Honglei smiled and stared at Jinguji Seiichiro in the distance. The murderous intent in his eyes was released without concealment. But Jinguji Seiichiro just pushed his gold-rimmed glasses expressionlessly. Then he casually took out another talisman folded into the shape of a monkey from his pocket. "Go!" Jinguji Seiichiro silently chanted the spell, and then threw the talisman into the air. The golden light enveloped the talisman and then quickly generated an identical Jinwan. Seeing this scene, Liao Honglei's pupils suddenly shrank. Even the smiles at the combat command center stopped abruptly. After killing one Shikigami, the opponent summoned another one so easily. Liao Honglei figured this out. He knew that he couldn't continue to waste time on the Shikigami. Liao Honglei quickly took out a large pistol with his left hand, aimed it at Jinguji Seiichiro, who was hundreds of meters away, raised his gun, and shot. As a strong man from the military, he was still accurate with his left hand. Black, origin bullets were fired from the muzzle one after another. If Jinguji Seiichiro represents the art, then the origin bullet is just his nemesis. Jinguji Seiichiro frowned, and the bluebird guarding him flapped its wings fiercely, and suddenly a huge gust of wind rolled up in front of him, circling around Jinguji Seiichiro like a tornado. Although the origin bullet can break the magic, such a huge gust of wind still deviated the trajectory of the bullet. Jinguji Seiichiro's eyes revealed a bit of caution. Someone had told him about the origin bullets in the Jiangnan region. If you are careless about this thing, you may be killed directly. Even if he is a Delta-level mutant, it won't work. Keep attacking. Kill him for me. Jinguji Seiichiro raised his right hand, raised his index and middle fingers, and began to stimulate the power of the Shikigami. The five-colored light around the Shikigami became more dazzling, and Jinwan and Akamaru rushed towards Liao Honglei again. Liao Honglei had a cold face and tried to use the origin bullets to attack the two Shikigami. It did work, but it couldn't destroy their cores. At most, it consumed the energy on them. This approach could not achieve effective results at all. What's more, there was Yin Wan staring at him, and an energy cannon suddenly blasted. Over. If he continued to fight like this, Liao Honglei could only be in a passive state. As long as there was a slight flaw, he had no doubt that these terrible Shikigami would tear him to pieces. Even in such a situation, Liao Honglei was still able to remain calm. He has carried out missions on the brink of life and death countless times. The strong will forged in the army allows him to remain calm in the face of adversity. Liao Honglei remained calm and continued to fight with several Shikigami. But in his heart, he began to calculate the distance between himself and Jinguji Seiichiro. It's about 350 meters away. At this distance, it will take 3 seconds if I want to kill him at close range. But first, I have to get rid of these two Shikigami. Secondly, there is a Shikigami who controls the wind beside him, which is very troublesome. Liao Honglei quickly came up with a battle plan in his mind. He put away the pistol, and at the same time, he waved his left hand, and more than a dozen bombs were scattered all over the battlefield with his movements. Jinguji Seiichiro's eyes condensed, and the blue bird quickly lifted up. Strong winds prevented these explosives from approaching. But the bombs took effect the moment they landed. However, contrary to Jinguji Seiichiro's expectations, they did not produce a series of explosions, but burst into dazzling white light, so bright that he almost cried. It was a high-intensity flash bomb. The entire battlefield was bright, and because it was too bright, nothing could be seen. Jinguji Seiichiro could not see Liao Honglei's position, but at this time, Liao Honglei was wearing tactical eyepieces. This latest technology, developed by Zhang's technology, can see objects in the dark and avoid losing vision in a strong light environment. The effect created by this high-intensity flash bomb is to make Jinguji Seiichiro temporarily unable to move, let alone capture his position. So the moment the flash bomb lit up, Liao Honglei moved. His legs swelled up and his speed increased to the extreme. It only took him 3 seconds to get to Jinguji Seiichiro. Facing an onmyoji, Liao Honglei approached his body. Even without using supernatural powers, he could beat him into a pulp with just a pair of fists. Jinguji Seiichiro sensed the crisis, and he understood what Liao Honglei wanted to do. "Asshole!" he cursed, then turned around and wanted to escape to the depths of Jiangning Square. But how can an onmyoji compete with a strengthening mutant in terms of speed? The next moment, Liao Honglei appeared in front of him, with a cruel smile on his face. "You are dead," Liao Honglei said. But at this moment, the fear on Jinguji Seiichiro's face disappeared. He looked at Liao Honglei, and the smile on his mouth was full of weirdness. And the corners of his mouth became bigger and bigger, and even pulled behind his ears. Liao Honglei felt a chill on his back, and he immediately realized that he had been tricked. But now he had no time to escape, because Jinguji Seiichiro had already grasped his arm tightly. Liao Honglei used a trick and came close to Jinguji Seiichiro. He thought he had succeeded and was about to smash Jinguji Seiichiro's head with a punch. But Jinguji Seiichiro in front of him suddenly became weird. He grabbed Liao Honglei's arm and his body began to crack. In a short moment, he had lost his human form. His body was full of cracks, but a heart-pounding white light emanated from the cracks. "Explode!" Such a voice suddenly came from a distance. The white light around Jinguji Seiichiro suddenly became blazing. The violent explosion boomed, resounded throughout the battlefield.